is going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. We're live. It's Wednesday. We're going to be ripping some drafts. We're going to talk about a few of the new tournaments that got dropped recently by Underdog. Quick shout out to the chat. We got Pepper Tony, who was first. Appreciate you. We got Hartman popping in. GM. Just got finished watching the most recent Best Ball Jeopardy episode. Very entertaining. It was a grindy kind of a matchup, two high scoring matchups. The scores have been getting more like higher and higher every week. The further we get into the season, the tournament, that sort of a thing. So shout out to Fanspeak, Steve, and Herzig. Quality matchup. I've come to realize I'm going to get my fucking ass kicked, I think, in round two, unless I'm playing Tyler. If I'm playing Tyler, I'm going to fight to the death. I'm going to get flashcards going, studying my ass off. I'm going to have to hit the books if I'm playing Tyler in the second round. If not, I'll still do some work, but I won't be as upset if I lose to anybody else. But if I lose to Tyler, I'm going to be pretty unhappy. So we'll see how that goes. Excited for that. Shout out to the Fanspeak guys on that one. So let's jump over to Underdog. Three new contests, as we all know. I don't believe we talked about it last episode, but we got the Pitbull. I'm 2 into that so far. I will most certainly be maxing this. Fantastic structure, fantastic tournament. 2 of 12 advanced round one. Then you got 1 of 6, 1 of 5, and then 156 seat final. 100K up top is pretty juicy for a $200 investment, essentially, if you max the tournament, right? And then 2.5 times your money on a finals appearance. So that's pretty juicy. I really, really like this one. We may do an episode where we're drafting Pitbulls. Hard to say, but we're not doing that tonight. I do still need to get my Corgi in. I'm not too worried about getting that one. We'll get it at some point. Single entry, $5. Again, 2 of 12, 1 of 10, 1 of 5, 75 seat final, 25K up top, $250 on a $5 investment. Pretty decent. Obviously, you have to make the final to make any money. But it's $5. So whatever, not a big deal. I'll put a match to a $5 bill. If I make the finals, $250 back, that's pretty sweet. And again, 25K up top would be pretty amazing on a $5 bet, right? So I'll get my Corgi in at some point. But that's all we're here for. We're here for my favorite tournament in Best Ball on Underdog. Why? I made the finals in a Poodle. 2 years ago, it was the Poodle 3. Last year, it was the Poodle 1, which is where we're at right now. So I'm hoping to make it a three-peat finals appearances. Everybody knows that the Poodle is really the barometer for Best Ball drafters and if you're a ball knower, sharp or not. So take that for what it's worth. But we're gonna jump into a Poodle. $7, 22nd. Let's look through the structure first quickly. 2 of 12. This is why I like it so much. Obviously, the Pitbull is very similar as well. This is kind of just a step down from the Pitbull, right? As in, a fraction of the buy-in cost. So 2 of 12, 1 of 6, 1 of 5, 310 up top. You make the finals, you get $300. What's the max? So $140, right? $140 is what the buy-in would be on a max entry. You get almost 1.5 times your money. We got 40K up top. That's pretty juicy. So you get in the playoffs, you get your money back. Great. But really the money's up top, obviously. So let's jump into a 22nd Poodle. Waiting on 7. So there's tons of room. Water's warm. Come on in. Get your free EV in the Poodle. If you're popping in, hit the like button for me if you don't mind. A lot of more people seem to be watching on Twitter right now. If you're on your Twitter account, jump over to your YouTube account, hit the sub button, hit subscribe, like, all the things, helps us out. Keeps it growing, keeps it going, keeps it moving. We got Hartman, we've got Pepper Tony, we've got CBK, Chaz Michael Michelson, Wuhan Batman. That's a really hilarious name. I like that. That's really funny. Well done. Well done. Badgeless so far, but that's a great name. All of the friends and family at the front end of the draft, so I'll have to mind my P's and Q's when I'm trying to push around this corner. But we drew the 5 spot. Let's bring up our Poodle exposures. Haven't gotten the 1-1 yet, so no Jamar Chase. Where am I? 5 spots. So just even out some exposures here. CeeDee Lamb's the only guy I have multiple shares of so far. So Gibbs, Bijan, Barkley, Jefferson, kind of who's there. Whoever's there is who I'll take. Not too concerned about it. Just want to make sure my exposures are relatively flat, relatively even. They're where I want them to be for a time box 20 max entry tournament. I want exposure to the guys that are my guys. And then all of the top guys, I kind of want at least one, one entry with those players. So we'll see how this ends up. I haven't had the back end. I've basically been 1 through 7, for almost all of my entries so far. So it is what it is. We'll go CD or Bijan. I guess I could take Gibbs, but really it's like this for me. So Bijan goes. I'm just going to get another share of CD. If I really need to get some more Gibbs in my life, I can do it. But CeeDee Lamb is just ranked way too high for me to pass up here at 5 when it's basically between CeeDee Lamb and Gibbs for me. Basically, if CeeDee Lamb's there, like 5, 6, whatever, if he's there, I'm going to take him. And, staying true to it, it just is what it is. I wouldn't really think about flipping the board. The only place I'd really think about kind of flipping the board would be pick 7. And maybe I'll start doing that in some of the 150 entries, maybe in a Best Ball Mania. I might do that once or twice here and there sort of thing. But other than that, I'm happy to just take these top 6 and kind of see how it works out from there. Steve in the chat, appreciate you popping in. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The show was great tonight. Great job. If it wasn't for that daily double, man, that was big by Herzig. Well played by him. And I think you had the same strategy. So worked out for him. You're still in the bracket. Obviously, you're guaranteed a spot in the bracket. And I hope I don't play either of you guys, but I probably will. I think I have the lowest score, which was a huge disadvantage going early. So I'm pretty sure I have the lowest score. So I'm probably playing, I guess, Herzig. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I'm going to have to do some studying, but geez, I'm going to get destroyed in this thing. I don't stand a chance, but I'm doing well otherwise. CBK, what up? What up? Didn't even know you were streaming till then saw you in this draft. Yeah, we're here. We're streaming. I had to wait. I don't had to, but I wanted to wait until the Jeopardy episode was over so I could watch it and didn't want to overlap. Mind you, I know PPR Tyler's live right now, so it is what it is. I'm starting to think Puka and Nico should maybe go above the RBs too. Some people do have it ranked that way. I personally don't. I have Puka ranked right where he is, basically at 7. I might even have Neighbors ahead of him. I think I actually have Neighbors ranked at 7, then Puka, and then CMC. Is I think how I have it. My thing with Neighbors is just it's a similar reasoning for CeeDee Lamb. He's just so far and away the number 1 player in the entire offense, and it's not even close on his team. There's Devontae Adams, there's the running backs, right, in the Rams offense, but as far as the Giants are concerned, it's Neighbors and then kind of everybody else. So yeah, give me Neighbors, then Puka. It's one spot and it's in the first round. So really, I'm going to get my shares of both regardless. But I might just get some Bucky Irving here. I think I did Jonathan Taylor. I did. So let's do Bucky, get a share of Mr. Irving. I haven't clicked him yet in this tournament. So let's get him there. Pair him up with CD, who I probably will be most exposed to. Arizona Mountain Man, what's happening, man? Good morning. Good morning, GM, what's up? What's up? That one hurt, but a great show. I mean, you're still in the bracket. Come back, kid. Just work your way back. Now you just got to battle. Back. I'd be pretty concerned. I mean, it's you and probably Pat as it sits right now. We'll see how Pete and Neil do. So you and Pat will be in that loser bracket there. I mean, you scored, I think, like 3 times the points I did, and we're calling you in the loser bracket. So that's cool. I can't do Bucky over JT. I typically don't either. It's just I have way more exposure to JT than I do Bucky. And if I don't take him here, I just don't know if I will. And if I want to take Bucky, I do kind of want to pair him up with the player that's going to be most likely my most exposed player in the first round, kind of regardless of anything, but also in this tournament too. He's going to be my most exposed player. So if I'm going to pair Bucky up with anyone, I want it to be with CeeDee Lamb. But typically it's JT for me as well. I just already have that pairing in this tournament. It's a time box 20 max tournament. I don't want to have too much CD JT. Not that it's like a bad click or anything. It's just that's what I'm doing. CBK takes Tyreek Hill. Should have known he wouldn't let him slip to me in the third. I'd be auto-clicking Tyreek right there. So that is fine. Makes some sense. Do I have CD with Terry McLaurin? I do not. Let's do that kind of regardless. What do my rankings say? My rankings say it's Terry. Okay. I'm not concerned about this this contract situation. I'm really not. I think they get something done. They kind of have to. He's again the most well outside of Jaden Daniels. He's obviously like the entire offense rolls through Terry McLaurin through Jaden Daniels, obviously. But I'm not worried about the contract situation. He was already at minicamp and then he left, so I'm not concerned. They're going to get something done. They're already communicating. And I think he'll rise back up ADP wise. I think he's slipping a little bit. Yeah, down to basically 31. And I think he peaked at probably 26, something like that. So he's sliding. So I'm kind of happy to buy that slight dip. Pair him up with CD. I mean, I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to get this pairing. So I'll take advantage of it while I can. So there we go. Yeah. I have like 20% JT, 1% Bucky. Yeah, I know. I'm not quite there. Let's see where I'm at. Let's see where I'm at in all tournaments. But I'm very high on JT this year. And considering, like we're kind of alluding to, so 16.5 on JT, and on Bucky, I'm 5.7. So yeah, it's always JT for me over Bucky, but I'm trying to make sure I just get enough. That's really where I'm at. Like I'll probably be a little below the field, and I'll be probably double the field on JT. And that just kind of is what it is. I don't think I'm going to correct that or change that. I'm just going to, say that that's my take and that's my lean, and that's what I'm going to do. But I definitely don't want to be 1%. Saquon, JT, Tyreek, probably my favorite start. Yeah, that'll definitely play. Well done. I don't get the Terry Fudd. Every year people said he was a great player with no QB. Now he gets top 5 QB and people are out on him. Yeah, I have him ranked higher than most, I feel like. Higher than his ADP right now by 4 spots. So I agree with this. Like I was always very high. Terry was the guy last year for me that I had to leave every draft with. He was my most exposed player. I drafted him everywhere. I run an auction draft and I spent all the money it took to get Terry McLaurin. It was a blank check for me. So here we are. And I'm still in the same kind of boat is what I'm getting at. I've been drafting a lot of James Cook in this tournament, catching up. Don't have any DJ Moore. Let's correct that. Let's correct that right now. Wuhan Batman just takes a naked Jane Daniels. Not that it's a bad click. I guess it pairs with Neighbors. So, okay, sure. Sure, why not? Badgeless, though. Probably concerned about losing out or missing out. George Kittle goes early. Interesting. Hartman going with some olds. Got a couple olds and an early Brock Bowers. A little fall on Gibbs feels nice, but some old wide receivers. Pepper Tony goes Jefferson, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, James Cook. Yep. That'll work. Doesn't take Marvin to pair with T. Higgins, but gets Chase Brown to pair with T. Higgins. So that's relatively unique. Kind of like that. Should be fairly unique in this tournament with only being a 20 max. But yeah, I'm in on Terry. Yeah, I'm really in. I'm not worried. The only like concern would be this contract, but they're absolutely going to get something done. Like I said, they're already in talks. They're already negotiating. It's going to get done. I'm not concerned whatsoever. So we'll leave that there. Let's do Waddle just to pair up with our Bucky. Yeah, let's do that. Do Waddle pair up with our Bucky. This wide receiver room is obviously in good shape so far. Hartman prefers the term mature wide receivers. You got a couple mature guys in there. Brings in another mature wideout in Calvin Ridley. Some seasoned wide receivers is the preference. Man, CBK is taking my guys a little bit. Tyreek, DK, and George Pickens. All right. So I mean, not likely that Pickens falls to me anyways, but I obviously would have auto-clicked with CeeDee Lamb. But I'm not shocked he didn't fall to me regardless of CBK picking him right there. So definitely not shocking. Proud of you for not clicking cornerback 1, Cody. Yeah, he's got to fall for me. He's got to continue to fall for me to take him. Like, I just am not in on this price. I'm not at all. 48.8. Where am I at in all tournaments? Probably like maybe 2%. 4%. Wow. 4.4% Travis Hunter. I think he needs to fall to relatively close to where, like, what, I mean, I guess the team that he's on, but I think that the Cleveland Browns might have been a better kind of fit and a higher ceiling for him than the Jags. So what's the difference between where he's at right now and where he was going pre-draft? Because where he was going pre-draft was about 20 clicks later. It was about almost, 3 rounds, 2.5 rounds difference pre-draft to right now. So I just don't think that this price makes a lick of sense for Travis Hunter. Like, look at Ted McMillan. He's basically going in the same spot, more or less. I think maybe he was a 4-5 turn guy, maybe. But so maybe he's risen like, I don't know, 6 picks or something like that. But this rise for Travis Hunter really is pretty unwarranted, and he's starting to fall right now. Like, we're already seeing him slip. So not shocking. I think I want to take David Montgomery here just to get some exposure to him in this tournament. I don't think I've taken him once yet. I haven't. Let's just get a little exposure to David Montgomery. Badgeless just takes Joe Burrow. Pretty common. Pretty common. That's why it's risky to push him, but you honestly can't take him here anymore. His ADP has shifted too far that you can't take him at the 4-5 turn anymore if you're at the front end of the draft. Right before Pepper Tony too. That's cool. That's fun. Interesting. So you see this with some. This is the common, like, the common thread with the badgeless. So we got this guy here and this guy here. Not necessarily building anything that makes much sense, just kind of clicking buttons, taking like best player available, I guess, and just kind of clicking buttons out there. So that's what you got to kind of combat, and just make sure you get your guys, pull guys up if you have to, where and when you have to, and you just can't push, because they're going to take the ADP value almost every time, is typically what happens with the badgeless. So just kind of bear that in mind, is what I always say and what I always do when I'm drafting against those types. So where do we go here? Let's do... We'll wait for Pepper Tony to pick. This guy probably takes Judkins, I would imagine, just because, or Sam Laporta. This guy will take Sam Laporta 100%, this badgeless right now. Sam Laporta. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Take Sam Laporta. Oh, well, Swift. I'm taking Caleb, which makes sense. Pairs up with my Waddle, pairs up with my Montgomery. Bye week makes sense for my running back room. I like Caleb. I like Quinshon over Caleb in a vacuum. But with what I already have, it just makes sense to take Caleb here. So let's do that. Yeah, no, I'm out on Hunter at this price. He's got to fall, like I said, at least like, I don't know, 10, 15, at least 10, 15 picks before I start taking Travis Hunter. It just doesn't make sense for me. I don't mind. I like him as a wide receiver a lot, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We can wait till training camp. Like obviously in these time box tournaments, maybe I just miss out and I don't make the Poodle 1 finals because I don't have Travis Hunter. Possible, unlikely, but possible. But in Best Ball Mania season, we can always recover once training camp opens and we see if or how much or whatever, get those types of reads on the situation. I don't think the thing is like with a guy like Travis Hunter, he's not going to rise much, regardless of pretty much anything. He's not going to rise much from here, but he could fall and should fall, 10 to 20 picks of ADP. So I'm not clicking him here at all personally. And I know you're not either. Commandos aren't dumb enough to get rid of JT's guy. Yeah, there's no way. Like they're already working on a deal. They're going to make it happen. He will be a commander. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. So yeah, I'm every day I'm expecting there to be a contract, settlement happen, a contract extension, whatever we want to call it. Get Terry McLaurin his money. He deserves it, especially on this franchise where like he's been with this team when they've been bad for the past 8 years of his career. And now that they're finally in a good spot, he deserves to get paid. So pay him, pay the man. Bless his heart. Yeah, I know. That's just what you got to be worried about with these badgeless guys in here. Let's see this guy's. He's got Puka Drake. That's pretty sweet. I know McLaurin can play through there. He's got the San Francisco. So this guy's got some stuff going on. Like this guy kind of is in a better spot. He knows kind of what he's doing. But these two are just kind of best player available. I was shocked that this badgeless didn't just take the tight end to even out his room. But here we are. So yeah, you hate to see it. Damn, Tony, did you dirty. Torn between Caleb and Reed. I'm glad you took Reed because Caleb was certainly who I wanted. Hartman goes Mayfield, who was on the radar, but probably still wouldn't have been the pick. Maybe. He was on the radar with Waddle and Bucky, so there's that. I guess it's just Mooney. It's kind of just best player available here. Let's just take Mooney. Could have been Cup there, I guess, but it's just Mooney over Cup for me. I mean, if Hartman didn't take Mayfield there, I would have just taken Emeka Egbuka and then tried to push Baker around the turn here. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. Not the end of the world. We're falling behind quite a bit at quarterback, but we're going to find a way to work it out, I feel like. Dak gets pulled up a bunch to pair up with the Pickens. I wasn't really looking at Dak on this, actually. Well, actually, I probably would have. Yeah, of course I would have. But CBK just hates me, so that's cool. That's good to know. That's good to know. In that case, we're just going to pull up Caleb then. We're just going to pull up Caleb, lock in a quarterback. And now Penix is kind of off the table for us, which is fine. But let's pull up Caleb, guarantee that, pairing with DJ Moore. If quarterbacks are going to get pulled up the board, then I'm going to have to just get my guy where I get him. Don't have much Dak. Knew he wasn't getting him. There you go. Great price on Mooney. Totally. Knew better than to push Mayfield past you. Yeah, it wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have happened. I would have definitely taken, well, maybe not. I would have taken Ibuka first. That's for sure. I would have taken Ibuka and tried to push him around the corner. So maybe I still wouldn't have got Mayfield. That's very possible. This guy might have taken him just cause, right? So mind you, did pair him up with Garrett Wilson. So okay. But either way, because then there's outs. My my running back room, wide receiver room in a good spot. Tight end, I'm never concerned about. We've got Caleb, who I'm really high on. I'm not taking Penix, CBK. I'm not taking Penix with Caleb. I just don't think it makes sense personally. So I don't like to do that. If I'm taking 3 quarterbacks, I'm not taking 3 that overlap bye weeks. I know it's not the end of the world. I know it can work. Maybe it is what you need, but I just don't like to do it. I really don't. Especially like it's just to pair up with Mooney. If I had a Rams bring back, then sure. Like I would maybe prioritize that a little bit more, but I don't. So I'm not going to force it. I'm not too concerned about it. I probably should have just taken Bo Nix and paired him up with Evan Ingram. That looks like that would have happened back here. No, couldn't have done that. Could not have done that. That's okay. We'll fight our way through this. We'll make it work. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. We'll sort this out. What's this guy doing? Okay. Pulls up Kyle Williams. Not sure that I mean my guy Kyle Williams is a bit of a tough click right now. I still have a ton of him, but there are some concerns there. Obviously, there's some major concerns there. Let's do Jonnu. Let's do Jonnu Smith. Since we're very confident, at least I feel like I should be confident that CBK is going to take 3 quarterbacks here and take Tua. Mind you, he might. He might. And then I can lock up my Waddle, Jonnu, hopefully, with Bucky Irving bring back. This guy was between him and Drake May, and this guy was definitely taking Drake May with Stephon Diggs and no quarterback yet. So I knew that was kind of a risk we were running with that. But Jonnu's more important for my build. Just makes too much sense. Emo Cowboy, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming in. I'm doing well over here. Damn Hartman, never knew you underdog name. Been in a million drafts with you. Man, CBK, man, you're just literally taking everybody that I'm trying to be drafting right now. It's kind of frustrating, dude. It's kind of frustrating what you're doing to me. But let's take Colson Loveland instead, I guess. We'll lock him up here. I was gonna take Tyler Warren. But let's take Colston Loveland, get the double stack with our quarterback. I'm going to be pretty light on bringbacks, that's for sure. Correlation is going to be relatively weak, but we're going to have to navigate this. It's an oddball room. It's definitely an oddball room for us. But that's okay. We can make it work. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. Bindles, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming in. Hartman sneaky in the sheets, in the streets. Yeah, I would have taken Warren there, but it actually makes more. I'm actually, it's fine. I probably would have been torn between Loveland and Warren. I probably still would have taken Warren just because there's not enough correlation with my Caleb and DJ Moore. There's no other correlation there, so I wouldn't have really felt like I had to force Colston Loveland in the lineup. So I would have taken Warren over Loveland. Like that's how the rankings are, anyways. Would have been a bit of a fall, I suppose. Not really, kind of right at ADP, but that's okay. That is okay. A-okay. I do have to be concerned about some of these badgeless guys. Mind you, I think this guy will be good with Joe Burrow and Justin Fields. Pepper Tony, Kyler with JJ McCarthy. Kind of naked, just fell apart a little bit when the Burrow snipe happened there. We got Drake May over here. Let's do. I probably would have taken T-Law there. Probably would have taken T-Law. I'm just going to pull up Tua. I'm a little concerned about the one drafter. And you never, Pepper Tony might. He's a little soft at quarterback. And this badgeless I'm concerned about. So let's just take Tua. Lock in our double stack there. We do have a couple bringbacks with our Miami. So Miami becomes our kind of main stack, right? We've got Caleb as a bringback, Bucky as a bringback. Miami's going to have a relatively soft defense, I think. So Pepper Tony does take a third. So that was my concern, is you never know. He's kind of been locked out, and to get away from the bye weeks, that was my concern about maybe Pepper Tony takes a third. And then this guy, he needs a quarterback. Has a Drake May here, but you never know. Could just take Tua on me. So instead of trying to push it in a room like this where it's been a little wonky, I'm just going to lock it in and make sure to get my guy here. So both my tight ends are paired up with my quarterbacks. That's fun. There's still some clicks. There's definitely still some clicks down here. It won't be quarterback. It won't be tight end. So it's either running back or wide receiver. I could do Garendo. I don't take him enough, so maybe I should just go Garendo here. I feel better about my wide receiver room than I do my running back room. Yeah, if this guy doesn't, I'll just take Garendo, I guess. Okay, let's do that. Let's pair him up with our Chicago stack. I don't take Garendo enough. Where am I at? Total. 3.8%. Yeah, I definitely need to try to get a little more Isaac Garendo in my life. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm not doing that, but I get the sentiment. Kyler naked, but against Cincy. JJ McCarthy stacked up. Did I miss it? Oh, you got Aaron Jones. Okay. Aaron Jones. Oh, and Jefferson. Yeah. Fair enough. I missed your Minnesota pieces there. But either way, my concern is you take a third, which you did. So I can't blame you. It's a little soft of a quarterback room. So I don't blame you for taking a third. And you never know. You never know. But yeah, Kyler against Cincinnati. That's true. That's a good stack. It's a good bring back there. This guy was my bigger concern. The badgeless and the one in the 4 spot were my bigger concerns about taking Tua. So yeah, I just wanted to lock it in, guarantee it. Thank God you took Tua. Don't want to be the asshole. You would have taken a third quarterback, with Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. Okay. Yeah, this draft's not exactly going my way either, Peppertone. CBK is just here to break hearts and ruin people's nights, I guess, hey? Jeez. Yeah, that's who. That's why CBK is picking Quentin Johnston to pair up with his Dallas stack. But that's all right. That's all right. All right, where are we going now? I do want a third quarterback, probably. It's going to be a 3-5-7-3. Yeah, it's going to have to be a 3-5-7-3, I feel like. So I'm going to want to avoid certain bye weeks. No, I don't want Pat Bryant either. Let's just take Thielen. I guess I could have taken McMillan there as like a double bring back, but that's okay. I don't want Pat Bryant there when I'm only taking 7. I don't want 3 of my wide receivers to be on the same bye. I just don't think that makes sense personally. If I'm taking 8 wide receivers, yeah, no problem. But with 7, I don't love it. Especially when 2 of them are high caliber. I do have CeeDee Lamb in there, but I don't know. I just don't think that makes sense. And I don't really have to do anything as far as correlation anymore and stacking, stuff like that. Doesn't really matter anymore. Peppertoni still takes Gesicki, who I was going to take Gesicki there. But let's do this guy probably won't. Let's do Cade Otton in the same kind of conversation we were just having about McMillan. We'll do it with Cade Otton from the running back and tight end spot. Cade Otton's one of my highest exposed players. Big fan of Cade Otton this year. I think he's very mispriced. I do have Darnell Mooney as well for week 15. I've got Thielen here for week 16. So let's do Otton. We're done at tight end, obviously. So another quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Yeah. Weird draft room. Not my favorite draft, but that's streaming for you. I'm just giving away the EV. Just fine. It's just a $7 bill. Not a big deal. Maybe I advance. 3 quarterbacks will help me advance. I wish my running back room was a little stronger. If this was even JT over Bucky, I would be happy with that as far as my running back strength. Yeah, but that's okay. And maybe not David Montgomery. Like someone stronger, I guess. I don't know. That's okay. It is what it is. When I'm only doing 5 running backs, I want them to be stronger than Bucky, Dave Montgomery, Caleb Johnson. I feel like this is kind of like a shoot for the moon kind of a pick here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll make this work. We'll make it work. Who do I want my last running back to be? That kind of takes my decision away from me. Okay, that definitely takes my decision away. So sorry, CBK, if you're going Daniel Jones, but I got to bring in Daniel Jones. He's literally the last viable click at quarterback here. So we're done there. Now it's who do I take at running back? I don't love it. I don't love it at all. And then who do we take a wide receiver? Wide receiver is less important. I'm in a pretty okay spot with wide receiver. Probably want like a rookie though, or at least like a young player in my wide receiver room. Yeah. I think I have to kind of shoot for the moon with both picks. I need basically like a 0 or the guy you need to win the tournament. Is kind of the way I feel about it right now. That's yeah. I mean, that's not Keenan Allen, is what I'm getting at. Like, even if Keenan Allen's there, I'm not going to take him. Is it the correct click? Yeah, probably. But it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's either the guy that you need to win the tournament or an absolute 0. And that's pretty much always Brashard Smith for me. Works for my bye weeks anyways, which is nice. He's kind of always that guy for me where it's just, yeah, either he's a 0 or he's going to be the guy, the piece that you kind of have to have. That's how I look at Brashard Smith. I'm prepared to take that bet in June, the end of June. So he's still one of my highest exposed players. So lean into it. One more pick, definitely going to be a wide receiver. My team is ass, so don't worry. Ass too, don't worry. No joke. This room is cursed, no doubt. We'll rip another one. Can't leave this bad taste in our mouths. Dan Rodgers before Darnold a lot lately. Yeah, it should be. It should be Aaron Rodgers above Darnold. It should be Aaron Rodgers above Cam Ward. Yeah, not above Stafford, but it should be Rodgers. For me personally, it should be Rodgers, Darnold, then probably Ward, then Daniel Jones. That's the way I would probably rank them if it were me personally. That's the way I would probably draft them. And Shuck is kind of like off the table for me. Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, Tyler Shuck. Okay. I guess we're going to do it there. He might have wanted Juwan Johnson to fall back to him, but that's whatever. Probably would have went dimes. I am not picking Olamide Zaccheaus. That's 100%. If you want him, he's all yours. I will not be drafting him in this tournament and probably not at all. Like, again, if I'm down here, if I'm drafting down here, even if Olamide Zaccheaus like plays a little bit, he's not going to be like the guy you need. So I'm just not going to worry too much about Olamide Zaccheaus personally. We're going to take Adonai Mitchell, pair him up with Daniel Jones. Works well for our bye weeks. It's everything we need. Let's get Adonai Mitchell in there. Like, give me Adonai Mitchell over Olamide Zaccheaus. I know he pairs up with my Chicago, but I'm double stacked already. Like, I really think that triple stacking is a mistake. I really do. I really do not think it's a very viable, like, strategy. That's kind of just my opinion on it. I don't triple stack much at all. And if I do, I most certainly want a double bring back, at least in week 17. But like, you got to get there anyways. So I don't think it's very viable personally. But maybe that's just me. We're going to rip one more Poodle. Get that bad taste out of our mouths. 20-second draft. Don't even need to go over it again. Waiting on 9. Don't even need to go over a team. It was mediocre at best. So we're waiting on 8. 20-second Poodle. Hopefully things are just a little cleaner in this one. But yeah, but who could that even be? Like, the only team, in my opinion, that could be is probably Miami. I guess maybe Jacksonville. Maybe Jacksonville. But like Miami, like I don't think it's Chicago. I certainly don't think Chicago's that underpriced team, right? I don't know. Yeah. I would say probably Miami, Jacksonville, maybe Houston. You could say that. I like Atlanta as that as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That I think have outs of being like a super underpriced offense. Who do we got in here? Button clicker, just clicking buttons and a bunch of numbers. That concerns me. Hopefully it doesn't throw this draft. We got Champ X3 in the 7th spot. We got CBK on the opposite end of the draft board for me. So that makes me happy. Getaway. And then Legio 13 should probably be in the chat somewhere, I'd imagine. Maybe not. Maybe he's just drafting. Maybe Vikings after Addison falls. Maybe. I just find that tough with a rookie quarterback, but oh yeah, gets the first. Anytime Jamar Chase doesn't go first overall, I'm like, and I'm not number 2. It's like, why don't I ever get nice things? Why don't I ever get nice things to happen to me? And here we are. We're in the 2 spot. We get Jamar Chase. I get a share in the Poodle of Jamar Chase. Let's go. Let's go. Nice. Yeah, never in my rooms. Never in my rooms. This is the first time I've gotten Jamar. Maybe one other time. That's not true. I think I got it one other time, but it obviously wasn't in the Poodle. But I think I got it one other time where I got Chase in the 2 spot. And I was pretty excited. And if you can't tell, pretty excited right now. So, yeah. Chase number 2, you betcha. Literally first time I've seen that in any draft. Really, I've seen it a couple times, a bunch of times I've seen it. And usually it's Bijan. I've seen Jefferson, I suppose, but usually it's Bijan, Barkley that go first. And I'm always butthurt that I'm not in the 2 spot and I don't get nice things. And then here we are. So might be my draft. Maybe this is the one. This is the one that wins it all. 40 grand in our pocket. Works out to be like $52, something like that. A little more, 55 for me, which would be pretty sweet. Very sweet. Very sweet. Appreciate you guys coming in. If you're just popping in, hit that like button. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button if you like the content. We're in subscriber only mode in the chat. So everybody in here, it seems like mostly just Pepper, Tony, and CBK chatting. I know there's more than that in watching the show. So feel free to pipe up. But yeah, we'll be ripping drafts all summer. We're just getting started. 2 more months. We got a little more. Well, we'll see. We'll see how fast these tournaments fill. But about 2 more months left of drafting. We got about a month until training camp opens. So that's good. This is another one I've been trying to get in the Poodle is CeeDee Lamb, Ladd, McConkey, and then hopefully he can get Terry McLaurin here. That'd feel really good if you're Legion. That would feel really swell. Rashee Rice flying off the board. Definitely not my click. Okay, let's take T. Let's get T. Higgins in our lives. I don't think this guy will take the 2 Arizona pieces, but he might. I will take Marvin Harrison if he doesn't. Okay, let's do that. Haven't even drafted him in this tournament, so that feels good. Taken T. Higgins a couple times, but I haven't even taken Marvin Harrison, so it feels good to get that pairing, obviously. Chase Brown goes here. That's always a concern with a falling Joe Burrow. Best Ball and Call, appreciate you for popping in, man. I thought we might be seeing Bijan, Saquon Barkley at one more often as we get into draft season. Chase held firm. Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. Like I said, those are the two. Those are typically the two that go one before Jamar Chase, Bijan, Saquon. But we get Justin Jefferson here. If I was Legion, I would have taken Terry McLaurin there. Then you're paired up with CeeDee Lamb in week 16 and week 17, and then kind of take it from there. Especially if you do Saquon there, or sorry, Terry McLaurin here. And then you can bring up George Pickens if you want, but whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Showing some love. There we go. Yeah, golfed yesterday. As I said I would. Played well. I mean, I'm happy with how I played. Shot an 87. Course is about 66 and change, which is pretty long, relatively longer than I thought. I thought it was about 64 and change, but 66 and change. Pretty good distance. Should have played better. I should have played a bunch better. Breaking 80 was on the table. I just kind of made some silly mistakes that should not be mistakes. I should not be making mistakes like that. It happens. It is what it is. We move on. Never lose, only learn. You know what I mean? That sort of situation. But it was a good round. Lamar, Josh Allen, I feel like those are the clicks. Those are like I was kind of saying last year with Josh Allen in the third round, I think it was. Or no, Josh Allen in the fourth. So same sort of thing. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, if they're there in the fourth, 37, 38, I'm going to take them every time. If I'm at the back end of this any draft, if I'm at the back end, I'm taking one of those quarterbacks. And I probably would just take them on this side. So, and who knows what will happen to ADPs? We'll see how they shift. But I'd probably just take them on this side, on the third round side of the 3-4 turn, just to make sure I get them, because there's so many wide receivers in this area that are clickable and similar. Like Mike Evans, JSN fell. Well, that's a good one. Tet's over there. You could pull up Pickens and feel fine. DJ Moore, right? Worthy's falling, which he should be. Cook's there as well. You can pair him up with your Josh Allen. I will take Cook here if he falls to me. I mean, I have a little too much of him in this tournament, but if he's going to fall to me and I need a running back, then let's just do that. That's a big teardrop for me between James Cook and Chuba Hubbard. That's a big tier difference, in my opinion. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's my opinion on it. Then we're going to go. I was definitely looking at Kittle there. Definitely looking at Kittle. So that kind of makes up my mind for me. And it'll be one of either Zay Flowers or Jalen Waddle to pair up with my Cincinnati in one of those weeks. This guy pulls up Calvin Ridley a little bit. Bully tight end. Interesting. So Zay Flowers or Waddle, who do I like more? Let's do Zay. It's really close, but let's do Zay. Actually, I should have looked at who I had ranked higher. I don't even have them ranked that far down. Jeez, I got to get my shit together with my rankings. 87 from 6,600, real solid. Yeah, it was a good round. That's how I should be playing realistically. Nice. If you're breaking 90, you're in real good shape. If you're breaking 90, you're better than 99% of golfers out there in the world. If you're consistently breaking 90, you're better than most golfers on the planet. So it's pretty good. Well, I'll take Burrow from you, but might run the clock down and make you sweat. Never seen JMO in the 5th anymore. Yeah, that's great value. JMO is definitely on my list, but it just made more sense to get either Zay Flowers or Waddle. I would typically take Jameson, no question, even here on the 4th side. But with the fall of James Cook, and then it's either Zay or Waddle for sure. Kind of had to be, regardless of if I get Burrow or not, to be honest. So, yeah. But yeah, if you're breaking 90 on a golf course pretty consistently, you're pretty good golfer. You're better than most. And I think that's where I am. I know that's where I am. And I just need to make sure I do it consistently, which I kind of do. I mean, yeah, my last 2 rounds, 86, 87. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. There you go. Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. I had a feeling too. I had a feeling that I should just take Burrow here, but again, it's just not the correct click. It's just not. It's just not. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I had a pretty good feeling that either like this guy here, maybe. Mind you, we did pair him up with AJ Brown. I was more worried about this guy right before me with Chase Brown taking Burrow. Didn't think this dude at the end of the draft who already has Lamar Jackson would just take a naked Burrow for no reason. But again, those badgeless zombies are just out here clicking buttons, the button clickers over here. So it's not shocking. It's not shocking. I mean, I would have been more pissed if it was this guy, the pick right before me, takes Chase Brown or pairs him up with Chase Brown, I should say. That would have been much more of a kick in the nuts than this doofus over here taking Joe Burrow. But at least I know and I can kind of plan around it now. So it's just silly. It just doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. You got to kind of plan for that sort of stuff happening. You know? You got to stay ahead of the game on those things. Because it's going to happen more often than not, in all honesty. More often than not, it's going to happen. But so let's go Matthew Golden here. So I kind of did plan for this. That was another reason why I took Zay Flowers. So, yeah. I kind of hedged my bet. That's why I took Zay Flowers there, because he pairs up with my Cincinnati if I end up getting Joe Burrow. If not, then he can pair up with the Green Bay pieces. So I hedged my bet, and either way, it's going to work out, kind of thing. So there you go. That's what we do. The Green Bay pieces, the Green Bay offense could be that underpriced. I just don't really like their playoff schedule. So we're going to take Jaden Reed here as well. Just double tap Green Bay, pair him up as Zay Flowers. I'm way ahead of it. That's the only kind of problem now is I'm way ahead of the game at wide receiver, which is not necessarily a problem. It's just not exactly what my plan was. But that was the biggest reason I took Zay Flowers, really. It's like, yeah, the Cincinnati stuff is great. But typically I like to take Waddle there because sometimes you can get the Tampa Bay pieces with Igbuka and Mayfield to fall back to you on the 94, 97 or whatever it is turn, the 9-10 turn or 8-9 turn, sorry, right here. So typically I take Waddle there. But I definitely want to mix in my Zay regardless. And then I can, if I do get sniped on Burrow, which I did, then I can go the Green Bay side and hopefully bring in Jordan Love. So there you go. What if bully QB is what you need? Could be. I mean, you'd like to have some correlation at some point somewhere, on your team. You'd like to have some sort of correlation, which he has a whole bunch of none. So, I mean, maybe it is what you need, just a bunch of dry pieces that work. You never know. Kind of have a different opinion on the Burrow push, mostly because it never works for me, but basically just need your pick at 72 to outperform whoever you take at 48 or whatever. Yeah. Typically, I mean, I do, but he's just falling too much. Like tomorrow, when this gets updated, it's going to be probably 62, something like that, maybe. Like it's going to continue to fall because it has been. So it just doesn't make sense to pull him all the way up. You know what I mean? Like you're pulling them up 11, like almost a full round. And the higher you get up the board, like the closer to your first overall selection, right? Or the first round, the worse that is, the worse strategy that is to pull a guy up at like a 12 rounds, 12 picks, a full round, of ADP. It just doesn't make sense. There's a lot of data behind it that says you shouldn't do that. And I do agree with that. And I do subscribe to that thought process that, 12 picks, one round of ADP, in the 12th round on, even really the 10th round on, I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. But, other than that, I'm not doing it. So it just makes less and less and less and less sense as we get, further into, as his ADP continues to fall. Just makes less and less and less and less sense. So, yeah. Jerry Jeudy at 81 is wild. That is super wild. He was on the table for me to take, 67 at 81. That's crazy good value. Who got that? Anyone cool? Flynn 10. Yeah, sure. Flynn 10. Got it. All right. What are we going to do now? I really can't go wide receiver here. So it was either Hawkinson or Kyler. Obviously Kyler first, then Hawkinson. So where do I want to go next? Probably just take obviously Kyler, but then after that, I'm really falling behind at running back. James Cook was a really good pick there now. Super, super necessary click there now as we see it. Do I want to take a Travis Kelce share? Does it make sense? No, not really. Doesn't really make sense. Tracy gets pulled up. He was, a possibility. Bo Nix. I think it's just Fields. I think it just has to be Fields here. Like, no, it's No, it's Fields. It's Fields. I have Zay Flowers. Maybe it was Waddle and then now Mark Andrews makes more sense. That's probably how I guess I should have played this. Is take Waddle here instead of Zay, and then I bring in Mark Andrews here instead of Fields. That's probably the correct way to play that, actually. I mean, hindsight's 2020. It is what it is. But, yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Legion's pissed at me for taking Fields on him with Garrett Wilson. But my apologies. I had to do it. Still got Dak on the table for him. That's actually the click for him. Does have he's got other options. He's got tons of other options. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But he's probably not super happy with me. I did have Fields queued, but have many outs. Paul, you're Legion or Legio 13, right? That's you. I figured you're probably not super happy about that, but I just don't have any clicks there. There's really nobody for me to take. And yeah, you got tons of options. You got Dak, you got Herbert. I'm not taking any of those guys. You got Young, you got Aaron Rodgers. double with, yeah, you got tons of options over there. You're in good shape. And I don't have any other clicks. Like once Tyrone Tracy goes, Najee, Cam Scatterbu, I guess could have been on my radar, but I just don't feel like that makes sense to pull him up there. And then if I'm gonna be like, I need to have somewhat of a strength somewhere, so it kind of has to be quarterback, especially we're just where we're at in the draft right there. Mind you, it looks like some QBs are falling. Bo Nix is falling lately. That's interesting. He's definitely sliding. Interesting. He's definitely been sliding down the board. Ingram goes. This is probably, wow, then he's double stacked on week 12 if he takes Bo Nix with Jaden Daniels. And that's not really ideal because I don't take a third quarterback there if it's, quarterbacks the caliber of Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. So makes sense that he passed on him. But then you're probably not taking Ertz either. I guess you could take a third tight end a lot easier than a third quarterback in that instance or in that scenario. So yeah, there goes Bo Nix. Typical champ room. He's got Baker and Bo Nix. Two guys he believes in. Drake May goes. This has got to be Dak. Yeah. For Legion makes sense. Goff would make some sense here. Pair up your tight ends with your quarterbacks. This guy could go Goff if he doesn't. So you should take Goff here if you want him. D49R. Ooh, Goff probably goes to this guy now. He's got a pairing there. Takes Andrews. Okay. I'm just going to take Jordan Love here. No, let's not fuck around. There's no need to try to push him. I'll end up with the same or similar player. We're obviously done at quarterback now. That's no question in the world. Probably Ramondre here. Yeah, probably Ramondre. Or Jonnu could make some sense here. So if Ramondre goes, that's fine. I really need running back here. I really, really need running back. Let's shoot for the moon with Bayshall. I really need running back here. More than a tight end, really. Like, I can get Jonnu Smith later. Like, there's lots of Jonnu Smiths. I mean, maybe not the ceiling, but close enough. And if I have 3 ping-ponging, like, that's the risk I'm willing to take there. I just need a high upside, not necessarily a potential 0, but like Tootin's definitely a guy that I like. Let's take that high upside. This guy ends up with Goff anyways, so good for him. I don't despise the team. Definitely don't just despise it. Don't hate it. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it either. I've got some really nice week 17 correlation, that's for sure. I got the Arizona single stack with a double bring back. I've got the Green Bay double stack with a single bring back. So now I definitely need to get outside of this game at wide receiver. But I might only be able to take 7, unfortunately. Unless I try to settle on 2 tight ends. We'll see what we get in our running back room as we go here, because I don't know. It's a little precarious. It's precarious at running back. It will be precarious at tight end. And even like I just have all of these games kind of locked up. So I have to kind of get away from bye week 5, bye week 10, and away from these games, these matchups. Yeah. Chicago, Denver, like I'm not going to get much for correlation realistically. I guess I could try for some Jets correlation. Huh. Yeah, I could try for some Jets correlation. That could actually kind of work. That could work. But we'll see what happens at running back here. I really need some falling value potentially at running back would be nice. But I might just take some super high upside. I might just buy in on that and say like, okay, if I can't get, quality, let's just take those super high upside, super spike week type of running backs that are just going to find their way into my lineup is kind of what I feel like I have to buy into right now. It just kind of is what it is. I don't know if I have any other options because I really don't. Like, I'm going to have to pull guys up already as it sits. Yeah. Where, oh, where? Right there. He probably does. So let's just take Jaden Blue here. As much as I hate it, Tucker Kraft makes some sense too. Let's just take Tucker Kraft. I just said I don't want a triple stack, but with everything that's happened so far, I kind of don't mind it considering I have the bring back wide receiver. If it was Mark Andrews, I wouldn't take Kraft. Obviously, I wouldn't need him. But I wouldn't want to take Kraft either. And then we'll just take Jaden Blue and then lean in on this this high upside running back room. Can score from anywhere, sort of a thing, and just like lean in on that. That's like, what else am I gonna do? Pull up Eckler, pair up Bigsby with Bayshaw. Like Bigsby with Tootin would actually make a lot of sense in this room. So if he makes it back to me, I probably will click him. But I'm not picking a ton of Jaden Blue. And realistically, this isn't exactly the running back room that you'd want to do this with. But I'm going to lean in on that. This is going to rely on James Cook, obviously, but I kind of knew that already. So, yeah, let's just see what happens, kind of a thing. The one time I take Higgins and Nico, DFH 123 takes Stroud. Why did he take Stroud? He's got Christian, Kirk. Yeah, you can't pull up Stroud. There's nothing you can do. You just hope he makes it to you. But we've got the Christian Kirk drafter. Does he have he's got the Chargers piece. What do you do? What do you do? See how it feels, CBK, when you get sniped. Cool, two wide receivers in a corner. Who's that? Who is that? Oh, he's got Travis Hunter. Yeah. Travis Hunter, Ricky Pearsall, Christian Kirk, but he does have the Houston Chargers bring back. So you can't really blame him. You got to kind of see that coming. It is what it is. Kind of sucks though. And there's nothing you can really do. Like, you're not pulling, Stroud up to 110 regardless of anything. So it's just one of those things. DFH. Yeah, I see it. This guy could have taken him too, even just the Trey Harris, like instead of we're over here. Instead of Luther Burden. There we go. He could have taken Stroud there potentially. Not very likely, but he could have. Because he did take Bryce Young here, obviously. Doesn't have Tet. Yeah. He probably would have taken Stroud on you here anyway. So you kind of had to get through both of these guys. I feel like I could be wrong on that, but that's probably what might have happened there. But this guy's way far behind at wide receiver. You're not wrong there. Travis Hunter's your wide receiver one. That's not ideal. Like, I'd rather Pickens. I'd rather Tet. I'd rather Devonta Smith for sure. Three quarterbacks with Jalen Hurts. Takes Drake May and Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Button clicker, just clicking buttons. Takes Pat Fryermuth. I wouldn't have taken Pat Fryermuth, so I'm glad on that. I'm going to take the tight end probably that I thought he was going to click with Trevor Lawrence. So I'll take Brenton Strange if he's there. If he's not there, I'll take Roschon Johnson. I think makes tons of sense. Jalen Wright's definitely on my list. He goes too. Then Hunter Henry's here. So we'll take Brenton Strange for sure. I'll take Hunter Henry. I kind of want to pair up these tight ends with Justin Fields in weeks 15, 16 or 17. So maybe I won't take Hunter Henry actually. Let's bring in instead Rico. Let's bring in Rico Dowdle. Catch up a little bit at running back with Wright gone. That would have been the click for sure. But let's not do that. Let's leave Hunter Henry on the board. Can I get away with two tight ends? Huh. I kind of have to, actually. I have to get away with two tight ends. Unless I think I can get by with 5 running backs in this room. That's a lot of hopium. That's a lot of hopium in that running back room. Let's take 2 running backs and a wide receiver. 3, 6, 7, 2. I have to just buy in on this then. I wanted to take Juwan Johnson to bring in with the Fields, and that way I have some correlation for weeks 15, 16, but I just can't get away with it. I can't. I can get away, I think, with Tucker Kraft and Brenton Strange. So that's what we're going to do. 2 more running backs, 1 more wide receiver. Yeah. And there's no New Orleans pieces that I want to take down there, so it is what it is. So basically it's all... I have Bayshall. I forgot about Bayshall too. And maybe I should have taken Juwan Johnson, but then I don't take 2 tight ends. So that works. It's tight end running back. We're okay there. We're okay there. That's fine. I need 2 running backs, I feel like, in this room. I just feel like I have to have that. I don't think there's any way around it. And then who do I take at wide receiver? Definitely not De'Ami Brown. That's for sure. Wandale, I mean, if he's there, I'll take him 20 picks past his ADP. Don't hate that. There goes Wandale. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. Jalen Noel can make some sense. But I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be Pop Douglas here. Pair him up with my Jets. And he's been rising. If I'm going to pump the brakes on Kyle Williams a little bit, then I do want to take a little more Demario Douglas, who I have a lot of in the big board, but I have more Kyle Williams, but that's okay. Let's take Pop Douglas here. I think that makes the most sense. A little more upside than some of these other plays. Obviously could be a bunch more downside, but that's okay. 2 more running backs to wrap this one up, and then we'll get out of here. This is an interesting build, different team. Didn't necessarily go our way, but it's not the end of the world. It doesn't really kill us or hurt us any. 3 QBs should help the advance rate. My running back room is obviously a little bit soft. Tight end room could be a little bit soft as well. My wide receiver room's in pretty good shape. Let's take Jarquez here. He's kind of always my guy at this point. So let's do Jarquez Hunter. And then we'll see who makes it back to us with the second last pick of the draft. Weird room. Got to grab Sanders if he gets to. I'm not like I'm not really playing that game. Was he even there? He wasn't anyways, but I'm really not taking Sanders much. I know what Sanders is, and I'm okay with that. Especially when I have blue, like, yeah, I guess I could lean in on like one or the other sort of thing. But then what if it's Javonte Williams? Like, I just think like if I have blue, what's the point in taking Miles Sanders? I don't see the point personally. Yeah, it's not a zero that Javonte or Miles Sanders aren't on this team. It's pretty much positive that they all are. All three of them will be on this team, but it's not a 0% chance. I think Jaden Blue's on this team 100%. So let's just lean in on that. The running backs that they took Jaden Blue ahead of is pretty telling. So he can score from anywhere. That's what I wanted out of this room. I don't want plotter, 3.4 yards per carry Miles Sanders. I really just, and that's what he is at this stage of his career, in my opinion. That's just who and what he is. Kyle Monagai was actually a guy I was thinking about potentially clicking here. We'll see if that pushes someone else down to me. I thought I was going to be kind of left with Kyle Monagai, but and I want to get some shares in the 6-7 running back rooms. I do want like 1 or 2 shares of Kyle Monagai, but and what's up, man? Appreciate you coming in. Didn't realize you had blue. Yeah, that was the reason I took blue, because I just need I need a guy like that. Jared Wiley sighting. Wow. We got 4 quarterbacks. Colston Loveland and Jared Wiley. Yikes. This team is a bunch of hot garbage. And he stole Stroud from you, CBK? This is a hot garbage team. Torrey Horton, Tyler Lockett in the 16th. Wow. We got a Phil Maffa sighting. Some interesting last round clicks over here. We've got Noah Gray. We've got Jared Wiley. We've got Raheem Mostert. We've got Kyle Monagai. We've got Phil Maffa. And that leaves me with, I guess I just take Brashard Smith. It's like Brashard Smith, or let's just take Jerome Ford then. Let's take Jerome Ford. Works better with our bye weeks, and I've got more than enough Brashard Smith in my life. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take Jerome Ford. That works. Weird team, weird draft. I don't know if I like it very much at all, but Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, James Cook, Bashal Tootin, Jaden Blue, Rico Dowdle, Jarquez Hunter, Jerome Ford, very fragile, but threw enough volume at it. There's big play guys in here. We got Blue, we got Hunter, we got Ford, there's Cook, Tootin, big play guys in here, and that's kind of really all I needed or wanted out of this room, realistically. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Mario Douglas. I mean, it'll work. It's just a little weird. It's a weird room, but it'll work. Like double stack, bring back, week 17. Like I'm super stacked up for week 17, but I got to get there. If I get there, then I've got 2 games, which would be fun. It'd be really sweet to get there with this team and have 2 games to really focus on. And have kind of 2 big shots at. I've got triple stack Green Bay with a single stack bring back, single stack Arizona with a double bring back. So that'd be fun. If we can get there, that'll be fun. Let's take a look at some of the other teams while we're here. Sean Tucker, trust me, I'm not really picking Sean Tucker much. That's who I was between. Yeah, didn't take Brashard Smith for reasons I said. Only Moffa sharing the Poodle. Probably. Let's Steven Hines, what's happening, man? We'll take a look at the teams here. Hope this is a Poodle. RB is scary. Definitely a Poodle. Yeah, definitely a Poodle. Mind you, I've built teams like this, not necessarily in Best Ball Mania, but I've built teams like this in other tournaments as well with running back rooms like this. I think this is the year that the winning team is gonna have an uncomfortable looking running back room. That's kind of how I feel about this year. An uncomfortable looking room like this is what's gonna do well. I think I could be wrong on that, but that's my thoughts. Let's go with Legion here, Legio. We got Dak, Penix, and Dart. That'll work. Don't mind the 3. Judkins, Montgomery, Warren, Scadaboo, J.K. Dobbins, and Phil Maffa. Yeah, if you're going to take Phil Maffa, do it in a 6 RB room. You got Dak as well, so I don't hate that. Bye weeks look good. Yeah, nice. Don't mind that. CeeDee Lamb, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Tedero McMillan, DK, Metcalf, Hollywood Brown, Darius Slayton, Pitts, and Gesicki. We've got single stack Pitts with Penix, no bringbacks. Dart with Slayton, no bringbacks. That's okay. Don't hate it. We got Champ in the 7 spot, classic Baker Nicks. That's pretty classic. Kamara, Connor, Rashad White, Algier, Bigsby, and Braylon Allen. Some olds to start. I'd like a little more like juicy youth in here. You know what I mean? Like this is a good room to bring in Rashard Smith. Mind you, you're done running back relatively early, but there's not like a juicy, just get in the end zone, one play home run hitter. I guess I was drafting all those guys, but yeah, I'd like to see one of those guys in this room towards the end, maybe. Puka, McLaurin, Pickens, Mooney, Igbuka, Bryant, Austin, Yoshivas. Pat Bryant's paired up. Baker with Igbuka. Okay. Bowers and Noah Gray. Noah Gray's a bring back there. Double Atlanta bring back in week 15. Wouldn't mind seeing a little more correlation, but this will work. 2682, fun builds. And then we got CBK in the 11th spot. Billy Jones, what's happening, man? Appreciate you popping in here. Just dropped the BBM4 data for the Hersey tournament, so now 2 years of data for players, structure, and results. Nice. I'll take a look at that. I don't remember how many I did the 2 years ago. I think I did 100 or 75 or something like that 2 years ago. I can't remember, but I did 150 last year. I'm in my price is kind of dumb, I think, but that's all right. I'm a leverage piece is all I am in that tournament. 6 more for Poodle. We're going to wrap up here, Antwall. Appreciate you. I am going to rip one after the stream, though. I'm going to rip another Poodle, so look out in the streets. The QB pass catcher stack is the only correlation that I care about. It's doubling down on a straight bet. Every other correlation feels like trying to hit an 8-leg parlay. I mean, typically that's what it takes. Not necessarily in every week, like weeks 15, 16, and 17, but typically in week 17, you need like a stack, like a quarterback, pass catcher with a bring back. And you want it to be those quality pieces. So what did I do? Like, yeah, Jordan Love with what I definitely didn't need 3. That's for sure. But I do think Green Bay can be an underrated offense. And, even with this, obviously I was going for Joe Burrow here, but with Marvin Harrison, like the premium pass catcher, one of 2, 1A, 1B type of pass catcher in the Arizona offense. And then the 2 main pieces in the Bengals offense, certainly in the passing game. So if that game's a shootout and if this team somehow finds its way to the finals, this is going to be a really fun team to watch. That's for damn sure. These 2 games would be really, really fun to watch. Well, let's take a look at CBK here. I need more than juice. You'll be all right. I think it's a high floor. I would just like to see like a high ceiling guy in there. You know what I mean? We got Josh Allen and Daniel Jones. I like that. I do that a little bit as well. I like that kind of a texture for a quarterback room. We got H.N. Hubbard, Pollard, ETN, Chubb, and Monagai. don't mind it. I mean, I'm not picking Chubb. I'm not picking a lot of mono guy, but I don't mind that click. I'm not picking Chubb at all, and I'm not really picking Travis Etienne at all either. But doesn't mean I'm right. And then the Pollard Chuba HN makes it easy to do kind of whatever you want down here. So it's fine either way. Collins, Evans, Jennings, Shakir, Higgins, Johnston, Dubs, and Adonai Mitchell. Double stack with Warren and Mitchell. We've got David Njoku in here, which I like. Got to bring back there with the Buffalo. We've got Khalil Shakir. I don't mind only pairing one piece for Josh Allen. I actually think that might be the optimal way to play Josh Allen. So I do like that. I love me some Jaden Higgins. I think he's got a ton of value where he's going in drafts. I'm clicking him a lot right now. But yeah, this team definitely works. Very high advance rate likelihood with this type of a roster construction. So well done. Definitely like CBK's team more than mine. But there we are. That's it. We're going to get out of here for the night. What are we? Wednesday today? Not going live tomorrow. I got to get some work done on this baby room over here. Friday, I have a birthday party. Probably Saturday. We'll go live at some point on Saturday for a quick draft or two, but I got a lot of house work to do. And then I'm playing golf on Sunday again with a buddy. I'm excited for that. So Saturday, we'll get something going. We'll have some fun out here, a little bit busy. Yeah, Billy Jones, fire in the data. Probably just go follow Billy Jones on Twitter. You should be following him anyways. I highly, highly recommend that if you're playing Herzig's game, which reminds me, I got to get my team put together for that. Maybe I'll look at it in a few minutes here. But either way, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back on Saturday at some point. Turn on that notification bell so you know when we're going live. It might be an afternoon, sort of while I wait for some paint to dry, kind of a draft. But like we always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight we're right. We banked the Poodle. Have yourselves a great night.